abandonné.
Today I'm going to show you another recipe from my new cookbook, Eat Your Heart Out. This is my faux chickpea tuna salad. It's an incredible bite if you love a tuna salad, a chicken salad, or looking to spice it up a little bit. It's a totally vegetarian option. It still brings a lot of that like salinity that you love from a tuna salad. I have olives and capers to take care of that. A nice hit of tanginess from some Dijon mustard and lemon. So it's bright, it's super flavorful, and it also happens to be a gorgeous one bowl salad mix. And I have to tell you, it is to this day one of the most surprising recipes to me, because every time I make it, I'm like, oh, maybe it's only me that loves this recipe. And every single time people go crazy for this recipe, including you guys. I did share it on stories maybe like a year ago now, 2 years ago, and just to like share what I was eating that day. And you guys went crazy, crazy, crazy. So here it is in full recipe form. It made it into Eat Your Heart Out because it was such a sleeper hit and so easy to make and so filling, delicious, healthy, flavorful, all the things that we want when it comes to eating healthfully and joyfully. First things first, we're gonna drain off some chickpeas. These are cooked in the can. You can definitely make them fresh, as in take the dry and either boil them or do a pressure cook on them, which does give you like an even more tender, beautiful texture on your chickpeas, but this keeps it super easy. You'll see it's like a 15-minute meal. Pop your cans open and give it a quick rinse just till the water runs clear. Let's get some celery going. I am a big fan of a little extra crunch in this salad. So I'm gonna go for 3 stalks. And then these guys, the celery leaves, one of the sleeper hits of the cooking kingdom. It is like punchy with delicious celery flavor, fresh, kind of acts the way a lettuce could in this salad. I'm just gonna tear off these leaves and use them to garnish my plate. It's always so nice to look for those easy garnishes just to elevate the visual experience. Give your celery a quick rinse. And you do want to dry so that your knife doesn't slip, and also so that you don't risk diminishing the flavor. I'm going to put a quick little mince on our celery. Just slice them in half. You can get rid of any top sort of dried out elements, and likewise on the bottom. And then I find it's easiest for the size of the chop that I want. I'm just going to cut the bottom into 4, slice it down the middle, and again in half, and in half, and then just a quick chop across. Okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, our chickpeas have drained, and here is the magic, guys. You take these fiber-packed, healthy carbs, filling, and delicious legume, and obviously, as perfectly intact spheres that they are, they're a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more resistant to absorbing the delicious flavor of the dressing we're gonna put together. So how do you get past that situation? We're gonna gently mash our chickpeas. And you can do this with your fingers, or you can do it with a fork like I'm doing here. And I don't want to paste. I'm not looking to make hummus. I'm just trying to like kind of crush them a little bit and force them to open up and create a wonderful absorbing surface. This is also part of how you kind of like fake that tuna texture. If you crush it up like this, it adds to the overall charade. I'm just working my way through. I'm not being too precise, avoiding over mashing. This is another reason a big sturdy bowl is helpful for this mission, but you can definitely do it in a food processor. Just give it a quick couple pulses, and or a regular sized bowl. Okay, now that I have my chickpeas crushed up, I'm gonna add my chopped celery in. Also, I'm going to chop up 1 extra celery stalk, just because looking at the amount of chickpeas in there, you do want something to break up the meatiness of those chickpeas. And celery is my main girl here. You could definitely put chopped cucumbers in, especially Persian cucumbers, something with a nice bit of bite to it and not too much water, because one thing I will tell you is this chickpea salad gets better the next day, and you can let it sit and really soak up that dressing flavor. And you don't want any vegetable that would be too watery to do that overnight sit. Celery in. Now I'm gonna mince up a shallot. And you can use red onion, a sweet onion would be delicious. I like shallot because it's kind of that mild oniony hit, a little bit sweet, and very delicate. And this I do like to really mince up fine, so it almost just blends and melts into the dressing. and the rest of the salad ingredients. I've shown you this before, but to get a really lovely, small, even chop on your shallot, cut vertically first down in thin, even lines, trying to leave this root section intact, which is what's going to hold it together as you slice across. Then you slice horizontally to create vertical cuts. And I know people think that onions have layers and you can avoid doing that. You're not going to get as even, lovely little cubes as we want. And then you go across in a very small little dice. And what you're left with are perfectly minced shallot. Look at that. Look at that. All right, toss it into your mix and we'll do the other half. Okay, we have our chickpeas, our celery, our shallots. Now let's start adding in some of the flavor. I have to tell you, I am not a big fan of counting calories. It's never been, like, the math part of eating has never been where my joy exists and my pleasure. So I am going to use some things that bring a little fat into the balance of the really, like, fiber and protein and veggie packed business here. And I think that's really important because it helps to make sure that even when you're eating healthfully, you don't feel deprived. You're not missing the flavor. You're not missing the sensation of a celebratory meal. And I find a little bit goes a very long way in making sure that I feel sustained and happy. So I am just grabbing maybe like a half a cup's worth of olives out. And we're making a huge batch, by the way, guys. This is not a single portion here of olives. And then the way that I like to get the seed out is I just smash with the back of my blade. And what you're left with is this really nice crushed olive full of meaty flavor. It looks very rustic. It looks very like hand-torn. All the things I love. You don't have to work very hard to pop the seed out this way. And I just find that it makes it, when you really like appreciate what is going on, all the layers of flavor, all the ways we're bringing deliciousness in, it makes the overall meal that much more pleasurable and inviting. And when there's a little too much meat left on the seed, it's for you. I am using these really like meaty, buttery olives called Castelvetrano olives. But you can use Kalamata olives. You can use whatever pitted olive you have access to. You don't need to be too precise about it. It's really just to bring a little fat and a little salty flavor into the mix. To continue on with that sort of salty, briny element in this faux tuna salad, capers. I love how salty and bright they end up being, little pops in the flavor category. You can definitely use sliced pepperoncini peppers if you want more of like a pickly acidity. If you didn't care about keeping this vegetarian, you could definitely add in some anchovies, bring in a little bit of that marine element. But the capers really do it for me. Now, when it comes to flavoring us up, I love fresh dill in this salad. I use probably too much of it. You can dial it down a little bit, especially if you don't think you're a fan of dill as much as I am. Roughly tear it in because dill is so delicate, you really don't need to run your knife through it too much. We are at the bitter end, guys, very quickly coming together with a gorgeous quick bite. It's perfect for a fast lunch. It's like a great afternoon snack, a light dinner, light supper. The last little bit of flavoring that's going in is going to be a lemon. First, I'll add the zest, so I get lots of that brightness from the lemon essential oils. Rotating as I go over the blades of my microplane. So I'm only getting that outermost bright yellow of the skin, which is where all those delicious lemon essential oils hang out. And then I also want the juice of this lemon to give me plenty of brightness in with my creamy dressing. I'm using a little bit of an avocado oil based mayo. You could definitely make your own aioli, and I have a recipe in the book for my caper aioli. That is one of my favorite things to put on sandwiches, to use with burgers of any kind, and definitely as the quick base for a creamy vinaigrette. Delicious. Lemon in. Let's go ahead and add our mayo and our mustard, a little pinch of salt, and we will be off to the races. Avocado oil based mayo. Start with a nice 1/4 cup. And I like a solid teaspoon of Dijon mustard just to make sure I get plenty of that bite that we love. pinch of salt, but remember, we are gonna have some salt coming in from the capers and the olives, so you don't need to go wild there. Look how pretty that is already. Then it's time to mix. Get it all going. Bring all those flavors together, those herbs acting like a quick lettuce in the mix. Like I said, I go heavy on the dill. You do not need to go anywhere near that amount. You prefer to use something like a flat leaf parsley or a mint. Definitely a delicious combo in here as well. And you do want to spend just like a minute mixing because it helps to make sure that that dressing is penetrating into your chickpeas. All the flavors are coming together. Everything is being well combined. All right, let's give it a quick taste. Get yourself a nice piece of olive. So delicious. It really hits the spot every time. It's so filling, it's flavorful, it's a little unexpected. One thing I will tell you is that if you don't feel like using mayo, you can actually just mash a half an avocado into your blend and it kind of creates a similarly rich and creamy experience. Let me show you how I plate this up. So when it comes to plating, I love to serve this salad in a lettuce cup. I also love it just as an easy dip with a delicious gluten-free seeded cracker of your choice. I have a yummy recipe in the book, but these are just those Mary's Crackers ones, which are nice to buy. I'm sorry. That's freaking delicious. And do you hear that crunch? That is so much more satisfying than eating a potato chip. It has all the like fatty, salty, tangy, everything going on of a salt and vinegar potato chip, but that is 100 times more delicious. Here's an alternative. You can also make yourself a lovely plate of salad and then just put a nice pile of your faux tuna on top. Or do like so. Make yourself a little lettuce cup, add in your add in your bright flavor of those, don't forget about those celery leaves right on top. Crush a seeded cracker over top to give yourself that crunchified effect. Pop it in your mouth. Don't bother me. I'm very busy right now enjoying a flavor bomb of delicious nutrition. And it's so fun to eat. I have a thought. My thought is that we humans are much more likely to stay consistent on things and follow through on things if they're fun and easy. And this is both. I have to say, when I was putting together all the recipes in Eat Your Heart Out, and there are 150 of them, it is a giant book filled with gluten-free and refined sugar-free recipes that you will never think about being like health food. It's all about being delicious. I really did. I wanted to keep it easy and fun and like something that would be tantalizing enough that you'd want to come back over and over and over again. And if you're anything like me, this is going to be your new star lunch meal or your light supper. You're going to wow your friends. You're going to be surprised at how like simple ingredients can yield a totally exotic flavor experience. You're going to relish taking deliciously good care of yourself. And you're going to take big bites.